Let's get some reaction to this. We're joined by Zanyiwe Nthatisi-Asare, who's a cyber law and internet governance expert. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time. We've just listened to that bite from the TikTok CEO talking about job losses, of course expressing disappointment and also saying that there's been a lot of misinformation. What stands out for you as you give your reaction to this latest development?
I think the first thing is, we've seen Facebook in the past being the American actor that the EU has kind of accused of similar actions and just uncomfortable about their data processing measures. So it's interesting to see how now America is coming out and saying to TikTok, we don't want you to process data of American citizens. We'd like you to do it this way. We feel security issues are of paramount importance to discuss right now. And I mean, we know what happened in 2017 with the Cambridge Analytica case. So it's a bit of history repeating itself, but now with America being on the other side of the story.
So with history repeating itself, what kind of tone does this set for other nations, the battle between tech giants and governments?
So it's quite a geopolitical one, and we know the feud between China and America at this point in time. It's really showing, at least for me, China trying to show its dominance by saying, no, we don't see us backing down to this and we'll fight. And obviously the Chinese government is involved now, saying that they will protect their companies. From an American perspective, it's a superpower of the world. And it's interesting to see people using arguments like, this is going to impact investment in America. America needs to be open-minded to data processing measures. So it's really changing. It's showing how technology is disrupting and really influencing geopolitics in the world.
U.S. lawmakers have said that TikTok won't be banned if it finds a new owner. But, of course, that's easier said than done. Who would buy TikTok?
The criteria of this new owner, so looking at what the US Senate is saying, and just the wording, an international owner, someone that is more neutral and I guess more palatable for the US political position right now. It would be very interesting to see who would be sufficient or who would suffice by that definition and according to America. And it only looks like it could be an American company. I don't see it being anyone else. This really opens us up to the issue of territory when it comes to data processing and the saving or processing of data. We've had these big wars where, for instance, in the EU, they were asking American companies to ensure that the data of EU citizens is harbored and kept in the EU. And now we're seeing America, who were opposing that, asking for exactly the same thing, to have sovereignty and governance over their citizens' data.
In fact, as you say that, I'm reading here some reaction on X by Elon Musk, who's saying that the censorship bill is far too broad. It will be abused in future. He's essentially warning that it will have far-reaching consequences going forward. What do you make of that?
I mean, we've got, we've been having this whole conversation around X, where Elon Musk is saying the First Amendment in America allows for free flow of information. Unlike here in South Africa, where we've got these balancing rights, we've got access to information, freedom of speech, but we've also got having to respect, human dignity and ensuring that human rights are respected, like aspects of privacy. So this is really going to revolutionize America if passed. We will see a more restrictive, more reserved America, one that we are not used to seeing. And when I look at it, I mean, some of the threshold that would have to be met to make sure that this bill goes across, I don't see it being something that's likely to happen unless a lot of other regulations are then created to ensure that they protect they protect this desire that they have. So, for instance, they'd have to show that there's actual, dangers that they're talking about. A lot of these things are speculative. And I think it's the insecurities that, like I said, history repeating itself and being on the other end. So having a bit of an idea of what could go wrong, because it's kind of did in the past.
Yeah, because, I mean, that does raise the question of how this would essentially work. A lot of the reaction coming forward have spoken about how unusual this bill is because, in a way, it's targeting a single company.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the phrasing, it says protecting Americans from foreign actors or foreign entities on social media platforms. It's quite it's a bit comical when you look at it, but there is a tone of truth to it. I think if we strip away the names and the countries, it really opens up to the conversation about how intricately related dangers, real life dangers are to the data that we give on social media platforms or any kind of tech-based platform. We are opening our eyes up now. If the U.S. government is, freaking out and is uncomfortable and angsty about this, what about us individual citizens? So, how easy is it for us to have our data manipulated and used? And what are we actually doing to empower ourselves and to understand the dangers around us? So I don't think it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if you look at it at face value, yes, you can laugh at it. But there's certainly some truth to that. And I think it goes across the bound, not just for China or Chinese-owned entities, but any type of social media platform that is processing the data of any individual in this entire globe.
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much for weighing in on this discussion. Zanyiwe Nthatisi-Asare, who's